Okay, Madam Chair.
It sounds so official. Okay. Well, welcome everyone. I hope that everyone has had a safe and healthy summer. And I look forward to this new year. So here we are. And we have two new applications for this meeting. The first we're going to discuss is, well, I'm going to ask the owner of, or is that you, Sandra? Are you here for the restaurant?
Yes. Hi, good evening. And Gus is actually present. He should be turning on his video. He's actually there.
Okay. I just have a question on what the real name is. Is it Viva La Pizza or is it Viva La Pizza?
But let me tell you a little story about this. When we filed the corporation, for some reason, they did not allow us to separate La. So we kind of had to put it together as Viva La Pizza, just like that together.
But is it connected to Viva or is it connected to pizza?
It's Viva La.
Viva La.
Viva La.
Okay.
Like, wow. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Viva La.
6-letter word, V-I-V-A-L-A. Got it.
Yeah.
I'll change that. Okay. All right. So this is the application for restaurant wine for Viva La Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Am I off? It looks like I'm off. Am I off? Oh, okay. You're putting your thing up. It's this restaurant is located at 6305 Fort Hamilton Parkway. And once again, it's a new application. The owner, August Witt, is present at this meeting. Also present with the owner is Sandra Fong, also known as, is it Shaisor Hong Fong, and she is the attorney. There is a letter of no objection as this premise was a restaurant before, as you see, as David Pizzeria. The questionnaire was complete. There was a menu. There were pictures. It's only three, I believe it's only 3 stools. And the floor plan was provided. There will only be background recorded music. And it says acoustical music and no outdoor use. So is the background recorded music what you mean by acoustical, or is there going to be a person playing a guitar or something?
No. They're gonna play it through acoustical music, maybe through the TV that they have available in the dining room.
Okay, so it's gonna be background music.
Yes, background music.
Okay, I never saw that written before, and acoustical music. So I'm just going to cross that part out and leave it as background music. Am I correct to do that?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, and there is no outdoor use at all. There will be no more than 10 people in the premise at one time, as there are only 3 seats, and those are like bar stools, as you saw on the floor plan and the pictures that Josephine just had out. As you know, Sandra and Gus, wherever you are, we had time to look at this, and it is basically a procedure that we have is that we would move to deny the application unless the owner agreed to stipulations.
Yes.
So first, I'd like to open up this to any questions from our committee. Okay, anybody from the public or any of the owner like to say anything?
I believe he has some problem with the audio, but he's on the blank screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't see him.
All right. Committee members, any questions regarding this establishment? Seeing none. I don't see any hand raises. Okay. So what we usually do is the committee moves to deny this application unless the owner agrees to the following stipulations, and they're basically pro forma. I'll read them. The premise will operate as a restaurant. There will be no sale or consumption of alcohol on the premise until appropriate authorization is issued by the SLA. The hours of operation will be, as requested, Sunday through Monday, that's 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. The doors and windows are to remain closed in coordination with any amplified music. There will only be background recorded music. The sound level will remain below the level permitted by the New York City Noise Code. There will be no music on the outside of the premises, and there will be no use of outdoor space. The licensee shall not use any promoter or have promoted events. There will be no smoking permitted. And the applicant agrees that should it change its method of operation, it will give notice and meet with the committee or the community board at least 45 days in advance of any such change. So I asked the committee if you're in favor of this or you would like to discuss it at all. Josephine has a vote, a ballot
Yes.
on the board.
All right, I'm going to put it up.
It
Does
is up.
everyone see it?
We have
Just
it.
now, committee members only vote, please.
So I'm going to ask my committee. My vote is not going in.
Yeah, well, it's not going in either.
It's not working?
It says
Not working, no.
panelists cannot vote.
Let's see, hold on. I'm sorry, bear with me, everyone. Are you still not able to vote?
It says
No.
no on the bottom. I'm going to try. It says no.
Okay, then I don't know what the issue is. Let me try one more time. We were having Zoom issues today. All right, so we'll do it by a raising of hands. I'm sorry, everyone. All in favor? If you could just raise your hands, I could see everyone on screen. Okay, anyone opposed? Abstentions or recusals? Okay, passes unanimously.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Josephine, I see that, is it Jeffrey Cohen says he can vote, but he's not a board member. I don't know what that means.
Okay,
You saw
Well,
that?
yeah, well, the poll function's not working as it should, so we will vote with the raise of hands.
Yep, okay. All right, thank you. Our next applicant is also a new application for wine, beer, and cider for Aloni Restaurant, doing business as Mr. Chips. And this restaurant is located at 7506 Third Avenue. And the owner is Vasilios. Forgive me if I mispronounced your name. Pavlos. Is Mr. Pavlos present?
I saw Gus was here, the representative.
Okay, so I'm
Um,
going to say that the owner is not present for now. And that Mr. Halkias, is he here right now?
Yes, Gus, can you hear us?
There he is. How are you, Gus? I guess he's on mute.
No,
Okay,
he's having audio trouble.
okay.
I
I thought
see
that
him.
was Mr. Viva La Pizza was having audio trouble.
No.
Okay. Can't hear him. Okay.
Can you, Gus, can you call in perhaps?
All right. The questionnaire, the application was complete. There was a menu, premise photos, and a hand-drawn floor plan provided. There is a letter of no objection for this establishment. There will only be background recorded music and no outdoor use. There will be no more than 50 people in the premise at one time. And the application states that the hours of operation will be on Friday and Saturdays will be 24 hours. At least when I saw it, Friday, 24 hours. Now, I believe, Josephine, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the SLA does not allow 24-hour operation. It has to close by 4 a.m. Am I correct?
4 a.m., that's correct.
Okay, so that will be something that, you know, in the stipulations, you know, that is in the stipulation that I've printed up in advance. Okay. So there is, it looks basically like diner food. There's a hand-drawn floor plan.
Right, and everyone else saw there's a menu here. It's basically diner food.
Question, is the establishment has to close 4 o'clock in the morning or just the bar?
No, just the bar.
Just the bar, okay.
Yeah, so you've had, there's been 24-hour restaurants, but
That's what I want to make sure that we understand that way, I mean,
yeah,
a lot of us don't know that.
but right, the sale of alcohol ends at 4 a.m. So I see he's having issues with his audio. He's trying to sign on again.
Is the establishment already open 24 hours a day?
No, I don't see it to be open.
No, I don't think it's open yet.
Oh, it's not open yet. Okay.
Not yet.
I just changed my paperwork. Okay.
I
Okay,
think-
any questions regarding this, committee members?
I don't think there is any past history in the place.
Yeah, Josephine, did you have something that you just put up? Was that for this establishment?
I had the application that I put up
No, I
on.
thought I saw something from the residents. Was that?
No, that was catch 22. That's the
Okay,
next item on the
okay, okay,
agenda.
okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. So
And
as
this-
we usually do, Mr. Halkias, we as a committee move to deny the application unless the owner agrees to basically pro forma stipulations. And this one, of course, has a little bit of a different twist because of the hours, but I've just amended that on my paper. And Josephine will call you in to sign if you so agree. Does the committee have any discussion?
This is a full liquor license or just one?
Just
beer
wine, restaurant wine.
restaurant?
Right, wine, beer, and cider, right.
I see the owner is present too.
He's trying, yeah,
No, Vasilios, I see Vasilios logging.
right. I see his name up,
Board 10.
right. Okay. So the committee will move to deny this application unless the owner agrees to the following stipulations: that the premise will operate as a restaurant. There will be no sale or consumption of alcohol on the premises until appropriate authorization is issued by the SLA. The hours of operation will be Sunday through Wednesday, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., Thursday, 6 a.m. to 2 a.m., Friday and Saturday, 24 hours, but the sale of alcohol will end at 4 a.m. according to the New York State Liquor Authority. Does that sound good that way, Josephine? Okay. The doors and windows are to remain closed in coordination with any amplified music. There will only be background recorded music, and the sound level will remain below the level permitted by the New York City Noise Code. There will be no music on the outside of the premises, and there will be no use of outdoor space. The licensee shall not use any promoter or have promoted events. There will be no smoking permitted. The applicant agrees that should it change its method of operation, it will give notice and meet with the community board committee at least 45 days in advance of any such change. So I ask the committee for a vote. Josephine, I guess we're going to do it by hand.
By hand, yes, I could see everyone.
Okay, all in favor of this? Raise your hands.
Very good, unanimous.
All,
Can I
Noes?
just ask, can I ask a question?
Yes.
sure.
Are there any residents above the restaurant?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, because normally with 24-hour places, which most likely are diners, there aren't any residents above. So are the residents above aware that there'll be a 24-hour?
Yes, so we did a posting of the notification. We did do a lit drop to the block, and we did not receive any phone calls.
Okay.
okay, anybody not in favor of this? Any recusals, abstentions? Josephine, do you have your count?
Yep, I have accounts. Okay, so it passes, and I will call Gus tomorrow if you could hear me. And we'll go over them, and then if they're hopefully it all works out for the board meeting. If there are any issues, Barb, I'll let you know.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Our next one is a bar, a catch 22, and it's a renewal. Josephine, I think that you have a number of concerns regarding this. I know that in reviewing their file for catch 22, I see from when it opened in 2013 through 2000, and I believe it was 17, 18, there were 27 complaints. And then since in the last year and a half or so, there's 49 more complaints in the last 2 years. So Josephine, I'm going to ask you to take it from here. And I know
Sure.
we have some residents who may be on with us.
Yeah, so before I call on the residents, I just want to share with committee members, the reason why we called this up for to be placed on the agenda is because when following the receipt of the renewal notice, actually it was that week we heard from some residents about some fighting and loud music at the establishment. When we did a review, we found 5311 complaints from January 2019 to the present. And this year alone in 2021, we've had 12 complaints, all after midnight to 4 a.m. So resident concerns are loud music, noise, patron fighting. This has been an SLA licensed premise within Community Board 10 since 2013. There is a stipulation agreement that reads security personnel should walk the perimeter of the outside in an effort to move patrons away from the residential block. The windows must be closed, windows and doors must be closed by 10:30 p.m. And the establishment must keep noise levels within the New York City noise code. So after we took a look at the 311 noise complaints, I did reach out to the 6-8 precinct. I know that Frank was here. Oh, here he is. There he is. I did ask Frank to take a look and see if he could report to the committee any adverse history on this establishment.
Hi, everyone. So in regards to this establishment on 3rd Avenue, I ran 911 calls in the past 2 years period. During that span, we only have a total of 2 reports that actually came out of those 2 years in regards to 911 calls. One was in regards to an assault inside the establishment, and the other was in regards to just lost property. Nothing that had to do with any criminality. This was just something where somebody lost a wallet or something like that. Obviously, Josephine went over for a lot of the 301s, noise complaints, the loud music, patrons outside, talking loudly late at night. Just to circle back to 911 calls, a lot of them were calls for help, which we receive over, which we don't get a lot of information from. They'll just call into 911, they'll give the address, they don't really state what the need is for PD, so we have to go and investigate, and a lot of those turned up unfounded, where we didn't have any call back or nobody was at the location to speak with us. So that's what we came up with in the 2-year span.
Okay, all right, so we do have residents here. I think I see 2 residents who've joined us tonight. So I am, I guess the first one is Claudia. Claudia, I saw that you wrote in the chat. Would you like to add anything?
Yes, hi, this is Abe. I am with Claudia. Claudia is my wife, and we speak unanimously what I'm going to say.
Okay.
So I respectfully accept what the officer has said about the lack of 911 calls. Yes, this is not a criminal concern that we have. We have a very, very strong concern about the quality of life in this neighborhood. And we were present at the previous meeting when the stipulations were agreed to by the bar manager / owner. He has not lived up to those stipulations. There are no security personnel who monitor the perimeter or prevent or discourage the patrons from walking our block, continuing their chat, smoke, and drinking on our stoops and in front of our block. Now, our house is an average house. We pay $10,000 in real estate taxes, yet we get no protection from the clientele who actually come and stay up late at night underneath our bedrooms and prevent us. This is a 3-family home, so all the bedrooms are lined up against the street. Similarly, our neighbors have voiced the same concerns. With respect to the thumping music, the side door on 73rd Street is left open, so the music absolutely echoes through 73rd Street. Further, if you've visited the store, the place of business, it is a glass front on both sides, so it doesn't really isolate the music. So whatever the code in New York City about the sound level, they have gone beyond it. We've spent nights that we could not sleep and we could not function the next day. It's just insane. So I don't know what controls you have at your discretion at this time, but when I hear 4 a.m. Limit, I cringe and I dread the future with this bar having a license to operate as they have.
Right. Well, that's why the stipulation agreement said all doors and windows have to be closed by 10:30 p.m. So that's not happening. That's a violation of the stipulation agreement. I'm glad you came out. I mean, we are going to, we reached out to the owner tonight. He's not in attendance. The 68th precinct here, we do have an NCO team that we will ask the commanding officer if they can speak to the owner of the establishment and see if we could rectify it that way, or via the state liquor authority inspectors as a complaint of the violation of the STIP agreement. So hopefully we can help in that regard.
Thank you.
Okay, Barbara, there's another resident here that would like to speak. Vicky?
Hi, yes, can you hear me? Good
Yes,
evening,
we can hear
everyone.
you. Good evening.
So I do have to agree with the gentleman that just spoke. I live on to the right side of Catch 22, right above them, next to the 99-cent store. And I do have to agree, they do have security, but the security does not stand up to what he's supposed to do. He's mostly hanging out with the patrons as he's like a friend of theirs instead of doing his job. There have been several times where I've had to actually open my door because the patrons are hanging out in my hallway of my building, drunk. I have witnessed them on many of occasions hanging out in front of the establishment with glass bottles of beer in their hands. Security in the front with them, speaking with them while they're holding the glass bottles. There are many a fight, and I have witnessed, I'm not trying to underrate the police department, but I have witnessed on many occasions the police are there, may not be in their record, but they have some type of relationship with the owner or the bartenders. I have seen with my own 2 eyes from my window at 3, 4 in the morning, the police do come and they like speak to the bartender and he knows them and they're like, hey, Kenny, how are you? And everything's okay. And the minute he says everything's okay, they disperse without doing anything. So I don't know what that's about, but as well as the gentleman prior said, the music, they do not keep the doors closed. Even on weekdays, 11, 12, 2 o'clock in the morning, they have the music full blast. I have actually sat down with the owner myself about a year or so ago, and he actually promised me the same things that the gentleman was discussing, but I'll be honest, he could care less. I mean, he doesn't have to live here, in this area. I've been here 22 years and I've seen many bars come there and go, and nothing has ever been like this bar. They're out of control. They don't care about the neighborhood. They don't care about the residents. And it's terrible. I mean, you have upstanding people that live in this neighborhood with, good jobs. And it's true what the gentleman said, half the time you can't even get a good night's sleep and function to work the next day. They're out of control. I'm going to be honest. They really are out of control.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Vicky, and thank you for coming tonight. So I would just say to, I know Frank is here on behalf of the 68th precinct. We're going to, in a more formal way, reach out to the commanding officer about complaints about this establishment, as well as the State Liquor Authority, because we are asked for comments for the renewal period, which is a 30-day renewal period.
Yeah.
And we will reach out to them as well.
Sorry, Jessica. I will be speaking with Captain Colson after the meeting tonight about this.
Okay,
Yeah, that would be great because, you know, you know Eileen Sacco, she's on the 6-8 precinct community council. She's been running community council meetings. And, you know, if it'll help, I will attend her next community council meeting and bring it up there publicly there. If you need, you know, to have more of a, you know, an in-person type of meeting, because this is something where, you know, little by little, the quality of life in our neighborhood is going down. And I understand defunding the police and the short staffing is a problem. But if you need me to be at a meeting, I have no problem in coming someplace publicly to do that. And I'm sure some of my committee members will also meet if they're available that evening. So I thank you for your help. But I also ask you, you know, we had a big thing about bocce in the spring. And I'm hearing that it got better for a little bit and the noise is back and the double parking, they parked their cars alongside of his outside street structure. So it's very hard. That corner is almost impossible to drive down. It's one lane where both directions have to take turns and making turns there. So I'm going to ask you to really, you know, have whoever is not friendly with the bocce people also to go there, to move the traffic, to ticket the, you know, if I have to say ticket the people who are parked against the structures that are impeding traffic, I'm going to ask you to do that. And if I have to start naming the establishments, I don't really want to do that at the 6-8 Precinct Council. I know Bay Ridge Community Council is coming back. If you need me to do that in every community meeting, I will help you and I will do that.
Thank you, Barbara.
okay.
All
Thank
right.
you all.
If there's nothing else, I thank you all for coming this evening. And I look forward to seeing you at our general meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, everybody.
Okay,
Thank
take
you
care.
all. Have a good night.